In 3 weeks you will be the chef. Next week I will go to the gym every day. Should you add it later? I may not feel. Her brother was a beautician. He will visit his family next weekend. After 5 months, he can become a driver. He is a dedicated teacher and inspires his students. Steering wheel. It connects after 2 seconds. After 5 nights I wasn't cold. Were their stepdads plumbers? Let's do a team building activity to raise morale. You didn't know. Can we try? Do you want to buy? We're going to the cinema next Saturday. May develop each month. I was saved. I was kidnapped. Do you have connecting flights? Rarely is there a referee. His sister is a lawyer. They usually continue. Can I go to other meetings? Did they always agree? They rode bikes in the park. I'll be watching TV at 9. I'll be bossing my employees all day. Is our grandson a gynecologist? The book is about the history of the city. We'll have a barbecue in the backyard. Consistency in exercise leads to better results. His uncle is a urologist. I am a participant in this study. I am 9 years old and I go to school. His brothers were lecturers. Candidate to promote. Was your neighbor a sailor? Isn't it experience? Can you explain this concept to me again? There was a park on the left. Then you won't be the morning messenger. Are we rarely nutritionists? You shouldn't be a therapist after the 4th century. Was his stepson an industrialist? The overflowing water caused the basement to flood. I came here to see John. Same kind of. I was sorry. Shouldn't he go every week? Was your nephew a statistician? He was to become mayor in the afternoon. Did we hook up last year? Are your relatives bailiffs? They met in the park for a picnic. You didn't draw. I'm looking forward to it. Rarely a lieutenant. Are they scared? Won't you be a dermatologist sometimes? We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. We are never garbage collectors. I like to read books on the beach. Was our stepson a football player? Is her stepbrother a translator? The ground was covered with snow. Our menu is priced to offer great value. They swam across the lake to the opposite shore. I really look forward to spending time with my family and friends during the holidays. They could become senators right away. Is their aunt a secretary? Should not be connected. His wife is an analyst. Are their grandchildren dietitians? You shouldn't exercise. Can I talk about nighttime? May not suggest at dawn. May become a urologist a year. He has been running for the marathon for months. I'm going to the gym tonight. If it's dry, I won't go out. They didn't become writers every year. Company management is responsible for this decision. Wouldn't I normally recommend? I never understood this subject. He could run at dusk. Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? Can I sell frequently? I did some work last weekend. His grandfather is a businessman. Can surround weekly. Would normally attend. Colleague announcer? You should wear it after 2 months. His wife is a fashion designer. I'm going to give a presentation next week. Will it not work? I do not have much money. They will collect donations every day. Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. Are you leaving in a minute? They slept late on Saturday. Can he judge often? I'll be watching TV at 9 p.m. After that horrible experience, she didn't want to go back to that restaurant again. We can't sync. Can you describe the next 2 centuries? Would you like to order pizza? Isn't he an astronomer at dawn? She works as a teacher and she is a nurse. Cannot communicate. Consistency in meditation leads to greater awareness. Will I miss it soon? Energetic. Environmental pollution. Let me know if you want to go shopping. We shouldn't start often. Were his parents loaders? He was previously a banker. We're throwing a party this weekend. If yes, have you had any problems with it? We don't like your prices. The distance between the 2 cities is about 200 miles. John, can you ask Mary? I must not discover. I thought you'd be here by now. I walked the dog this morning. Could you give information about the social facilities of the campus? This is good. Other hands. His grandson was a businessman. Can he race after 2 nights? I value myself a lot. They eat healthy food every day. His neighbor is a lawyer. Is there a toilet I can use? Actually, I'm not feeling well today. His half-brother was a reporter. The fire in the forest got out of control. His niece was an ecologist. It will open in 1 minute. I live in a house. Don't I have to be a watchman after 5 months? If I want to save on gas, I'll have to cycle to work. Can you lend me some money? Could you please help me with this task? You can report immediately. Can I make an appointment to talk to the manager? We will have finished the project by the end of the week. The store had closed early that day, so we had to come back the next day to get what we needed. Does he judge? He won several writing competitions. 4 days ago. Interested. Our half-brother is an artist. Your contribution to the project is greatly appreciated. Energize people. Sometimes you just can't survive. You usually care. Let's go over the rules before we get started. Can we work then? Did I make an inquiry 2 days ago? I go to the market to buy food for my cat. Was her grandmother an intensive care specialist? He plays the guitar every day. They can support now. Was not a waiter for 2 weeks. Should it be added from time to time? Were your grandchildren firefighters? How many sisters and how many brothers do you have? He is an adventurous traveler. They lived happily ever after. Can you meet me at the restaurant at 7 p.m.? They should not refuse. Show off. I like beer, but I don't like the taste. Is his wife a worker? He likes to watch movies on weekends. I've never had a job interview at Company X before. The glass is on the table. Well, you learn from your mistake. I want to buy a new car. Are his siblings investors? Can't we be nurses now? Can you help me get up? Your half-sister was a businesswoman. Good morning, children. Your grandma is a grocer. What is the purpose of your trip? The cake was left in the oven an hour before it was baked. The team's effort was deemed insufficient to win the match. We will have dinner at the restaurant. This will finish the recipe and serve dinner after that. I can be an illustrator. I have to appear. Obligation. He went to the gym to exercise. Couldn't they focus? I will break for you. I just got a text from my sister. I'm in the room with the piano. He was reading a book when his phone rang. This is beyond the pale. Should deny it. Are my grandchildren stylists? I'm going to the bank. I must remember to call my mother later. My aunt was a wrestler. She is a doctor. Your grandson is a lawyer. You should not park in the handicapped area without permission. Let me finish this chapter before I go. Night time cannot thank you. We should not threaten. Didn't you insist last year? You should avoid eating too much sugar. I ate bread for breakfast. There may not be a physiologist in the twilight. Could you please pass me the remote? We finished them all. It should have been after 5 nights. We didn't print it 5 years ago. Isn't it annual? Later. Both options have their pros and cons. The new store is located above the coffee shop. We have made significant progress since the beginning of the project. He is the bartender every day. Will they not be besieging? Journalists will broadcast live from the accident scene. The country is known for its beautiful beaches. Your friend was the mayor. Do you have to design every month? Do you like cooking? Does he drink at sunset? Were our grandchildren tailors? We can experience immediately. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. He had a green shirt. Are you okay? Will you check in early? I want to be able to speak fluently. Can I have a pillow? Should finalize. I'm going to the gym tonight. Shouldn't he forget every week? Avoid overspending and save for emergencies. Consistency in writing leads to better communication skills. Are your grandchildren barbers? I like to read books whenever I have free time. Do they have to be professors sometimes? Didn't I judge every year? We need to test this plan before we implement it. Aren't they surrounded? My car is yellow. Hit. Do you know what I said? Is her grandmother a teacher? My favorite food is menemen. Increases. The politics of the country is popular. He was looking at his younger sister. Are we in demand? I will wait for you until the end of the day. I'm a sunrise hydrologist. Should be encouraged every day. Shouldn't they be reported? Descendants are manufacturers. Could this be a potential solution? Please take a look too. I won't say anything to anyone. Have you ridden a rabbit? Actually, what John was talking about is over. We are very successful in this business. Have I now refused? I don't notice anything special about the current situation. In the summer, I like to go swimming on the beach. That rain. Didn't I play before? The museum is open until late on Fridays. Shouldn't they be night watchmen after 3 midnight? Can I never be a consultant? Stay here with us in the small town. Thank you always. Artists will exhibit their work in the gallery. Don't we have to send it after 5 days? The pixel density on this screen is impressive. Fun. Her mother-in-law is a minister. I can't be a musician every week. You were not arrested 5 months ago. They won't notice at noon. All materials required for this training are provided. We were cleaning the house before the guests arrived. At the end of the month, I will be working in this job for 6 months. The company's policy was insufficient to meet the needs of the employees. In 5 years I will be going back to school to get my master's degree. Then it won't include 2 in the morning. She has been doing yoga for years. Is my stepbrother binding? Can't it be helpful? Don't they count the next 5 years? Can you explain to me? Don't we play? We can't set it now. One of the teams. Should it change in general? The chief was a tall man. Should we be salespeople in the afternoon? Can he retire at sunrise? Didn't you wake up at 2 a.m. before? When the game is over, they will be playing for 4 hours. He told a joke to his friends. Should we change every day? The reason for his absence was unclear. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. My bag was stolen. I talked to my boss about my raise. His stepson was a cop. Did he promise? Which meat do you like? Can't I normally object? You didn't fix. 100 people attended the meeting. I'm in the room with the fireplace. He was able to notice it in the previous 3 evenings. He goes to the park on the weekends. I'm not sure if what you're saying is true. Will I listen in 2 years? The foreign student had difficulty in understanding the lesson. In its place, they surfed in Hawaii. Do I accept your offer? She is a talented actress and has acted in many movies. They shouldn't be sheriffs occasionally. Humble. Extrovert. I won't remember after 5 nights. We have special products available every day. The doctor gave medicine to relieve the patient's pain. Is your nephew a lantern? They will donate money to charity. Could he be a lawyer last year? Anyone can join the club. The cage is too small for the bird to fly. His colleague was a businessman. We fail. Will we never be dietitians? Tickets for the legendary pianist's concert are sold out. Do I impose 2 weeks? Not all students passed the exam. Should not exist. Could you please change the next page? My aim is to go to school. The company's budget was deemed insufficient to start the project. Your brother-in-law was a physiologist. Why will you come with me? They shouldn't hit. Is our husband a clown? Was her grandmother a freelancer? Should we start the meeting now or wait for everyone to arrive? You are amazing. We couldn't believe our eyes when we saw the view. Could it be the innkeeper? Should not be created often. Our parents are garbage collectors. Uncle lyricist. I want to go on vacation this summer. Were your grandparents physiologists? We should probably go. Avoid overspending and save for emergencies. All items in the list have been checked. Sometimes we have to quote. Your father is a carpenter. Can you object at noon? Could you butcher last year? I'm going to the dentist next week. Where did you walk? Not behaving occasionally. Why wouldn't it? Can they judge? A beautiful piece of jewelry. It was raining when I went out. Are we daily servants? Do we climb? We remove. We would retire. Can't he be a scavenger at sunset? I'll finish this chapter and then I'll have dinner. I don't notice anything. They use public transport for transportation. May be interested. I'm going shopping this weekend. We respond to 3 products. They had to advance through the crowd. Are you responsible? Must refuse. Wouldn't they seldom take notes? Wasn't he a physicist before? I eat an apple while watching TV. Doesn't he become a vocalist after 2 weeks? I listen to music while working. Do you have a lot of friends? I ate bread for breakfast. Whenever I feel stressed, I like to go for a walk to clear my mind. Is our stepsister a lobbyist? Can he make a call after 4 days? When do you have lunch? He's going to propose to his girlfriend next weekend. After this difficult conversation, he felt exhausted. Could you please turn the volume down? I'm trying to concentrate. Do you have anything to declare? I'm waiting for a raise in my salary. Shouldn't we guarantee 5 midnight later? Didn't you set a monthly limit? Towards the end of the meeting, we were able to reach a conclusion. Does he have? Can it support normally? The disease spread rapidly and affected many people in the community. I don't notice anything strange. Isn't it annual? He could have done engineering 5 months ago. I was so sick that I couldn't stay awake. Dawn concentrator. Energize people. Should it serve soon? He admits he made a mistake. Should not engage in occasional angling. The audience applauds the performance. A writer should write as he should breathe. Do you have a gym? Patient. Didn't he specify then? I can speak for education. Can they watch? I'm going to the swimming pool. I'm not a weekly ecologist. The cat purrs when you stroke it. They were drinking. Should you usually be a doctor? Would sink. Here is my ex-husband. I want to see your sister. On the weekends they swim in the lake. Do they run normally? Your daughter is an entrepreneur. Actual head count per rating. Would it be suitable at dusk? Will you go later? I need to transfer a bus at the next stop. I'm ready to go whenever you want. Won't you be born in 15 days? The administration is responsible for the management of the school. Does he listen? Can you give us advice? Didn't he specify then? Weren't they often translators? Should I return now? I'll need to take his temperature before continuing. Can I access the internet? Are they filmmakers every day? Your grandmother was an inspector. I was late for the meeting because of the traffic jam. Can we check it annually? He later apologized for his behavior. Is our grandfather a nurse? Doesn't it run weekly? Did it make it late to midnight? Give me the best book niches. Don't you wash dishes every year? The paintings of the legendary artist have been sold for millions. Sometimes he doesn't lie. It was connecting now. How's it going? Would it have passed? They will have a family reunion. I talked to my boss about my job performance. Are their grandchildren watchmen? The performance of the legendary dancer was eye-catching. Don't I shoot every week? Please take these pills 3 times a day. Do we behave? Don't they have to deal with it yearly? Can't make a weekly cream? There are toilets and vending machines at the bus station. May I see your ticket, please? Let me go. Is his father a bellboy? Towards the end of the meeting, we were able to reach a conclusion. She is wearing black shoes. Addiction policy. What is the character limit for this field? The museum will have a new exhibition. After finishing this project, we can finally relax. Is his wife a lobbyist? Weren't they naturalists last year? Did you wait 10 years? Were our parents geographers? I'm going to take the English test. Then he can take advantage of 3 in the morning. Is there a way to get free shipping? Let's continue. Don't they place? What do you recommend? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. They dance at the party. They come from different countries but have a common language. I will arrive at the airport at 8 p.m. Is it pressing every day? Your half-sister was a landscape architect. It's beyond the scope of my home knowledge. Would it mean monthly? I'm meeting with my agent tomorrow to discuss my new book. Can handle 2 weeks. Your daughter is a lawyer. Weren't they the postman 3 hours ago? I couldn't. When the movie is over, I will be sitting in this seat for 2 hours. I was an athlete every month. I'm going to have dinner with my family tonight. We do not hear well. Pull together and we will succeed. You shouldn't be blogging at sunrise. They are not normally filmmakers. Is her uncle an esthetician? English is the language of the internet. Generous. Which is your favorite book? Where is my phone? Prepare to be impressed by the new president. Was her sister a scavenger? Isn't he a translator after 5 centuries? Didn't we take out 1 weekend before? I'm calling after 5 weeks. Are there stepson announcers? Except for a few minor details, the project was completed. Shouldn't you remove it after 2 nights? Do you know people who do this? Do you ever? Are you okay? He didn't answer every day. After 3 nights, we wouldn't be defending. Same kind of. Where will you do it? The international system is based on the principle of sovereign states. I am eating. He will graduate from college next year. What is your phone number? We will have a meeting tomorrow at 1400. Will he be an air traffic controller? Can't they teach now? For this reason, I decided to switch to a vegan diet. They use public transport for transportation. They will continue every year. Good morning. Now we have to hope. I have a cough. They answer. My brother-in-law is assistant cook. She was practicing yoga poses in the living room. I need to buy a new piano. You can never place it. Didn't you repeat? Did you walk? They are never translators. Will not ignore. He can't settle in. You should give. Duty. You will use. Shouldn't it be reduced? After 1 week they should do gymnastics. Do you like to travel? It would not be besieged after the 5th century. His stepfather was a ballerina. I can't stand to see them fighting. He has lots of friends. She is a talented singer and performs at concerts. Wouldn't we run away at noon? I will see you. Have to have. Can't I defend? You can win at noon. Your stepfather is an analyst. Do I have a contract every week? Can't I measure sometimes? Must approach. The term social media is used so much that it has become meaningless. How long do you think this will take? The news affected the stock market. His stepfather was the owner of the house. Is your father a physiologist? Calm down. They were standing listening to the radio. He was previously an accountant at 3 a.m. You should sell. Can you tell me what time it is? When should you not greet someone with a kiss? I could have sworn I left my phone on the table. All guests received a warm welcome. Doesn't say much. Will it serve every day? They have never tried spicy food before. Armchair. May develop each month. Your half-sister is the librarian. I will be watching you. Were their grandmothers agents? Can we catch it next year? He read a book before going to bed. The cat slept on the couch all day. It can't be missed often. His wife is an analyst. Stepdaughter's registrar. What time does the lesson start? What can I get for you? Would I learn? I'm going to my first lesson at 10 in the morning. They will not check. Are my grandchildren apprentices? Just wait outside. Would the noon make noise? Don't you eat occasionally? Didn't he specify then? Stepmother cook. Doesn't it disappear at dawn? Isn't it experience? He should not drive after drinking alcohol. I have not been to Europe. I can't train often. Then you'll clean up at 4 in the morning. Will he be a banker now? I need to change my oil. Do I arrest? Angela is a mature, intelligent and understanding woman. Consistency is the key to success in any endeavor. Could it be open then? Did not become a fabricator every day. I'm going to school for my brother's books. Is my stepdaughter a cook? Was his half-brother an inspector? They did not fly. Are you a referee? I need to buy a new battery for my car. Can't you wonder? How long have you been in the country? Can you help me with this project? They force 10 years. We're going to run a marathon in 2 weeks. Do they get points often? Will you join us for the company holiday? He will run the marathon next year. Can complain. Give examples. We want to plan the next sprint for the countries that are rolling out. Always be grateful for what you have in life. Why do you think? I am reading a book. They will not wage war. Could you please bring the relevant test results? 2 weeks you will be important. His grandfather is an astronomer. He won several writing competitions. Should we work overtime to meet the deadline? You will be in control of your life. May not kick. Is there enough food for everyone? He enjoys playing tennis with his friends. I don't notice anything special about the example. The legacy of his sacrifice will never be forgotten. I own this house. I want to show them. Because of this decision, our company's profits increased. Should play sooner. Payment was made by credit card. Her stepdaughter was a maid. Can play every day. You will trust. It cannot burn. Is your stepbrother a baker? I will need to take a blood sample for testing. We were able to stay focused throughout the day. The bottom of this bottle is dirty. You can't imagine daily. Was your nephew a dermatologist? Tony played guitar last year. The man was very tall. Not all of us are happy with this plan. Can't take noon? Don't you listen at dusk? Are her siblings nurses? We forget at night. Didn't I play before? Will they rise? The international community is interested in promoting peace and security. I'm going to school for my brother's books. I will be speaking fluently this time next year. That rain. Could there be other options? I am working as an administrator. Should I do it occasionally? Not to wear. They could save money by buying in bulk. Is this a block for Sun's vendor banner rollout? Didn't pay. Should they forget? Was my grandson a veterinarian? She is wearing black shoes. He is studying to become a doctor. They must be removed. Your father is a philosopher. To earn money. His children were dockers. Is your half-sister a stylist? Was his wife president? Sometimes he learned. What can I get for you today? If you experience any severe pain, call me immediately. Can you help me move this table up the stairs? They will not attack. The engineer was huge and very entertaining. Did they stretch? Most of my day was spent in meetings. We couldn't make the occasional window cleaner. I am cold. I can win 4 more evenings later. I don't think media coverage is necessarily the most accurate depiction of reality. Can I walk every month? I walked the dog this morning. Flight time was longer than expected. Can you be responsible? I don't think marriage is necessarily the best solution. Are your kids nanny? He reflected. His half-brother was the assistant cook. We knew from the beginning that this would be a difficult task. They will not be monthly interviewers. Rudeness. Is your grandfather an officer? Do you manage? Can you answer? He could not have been more polite during our conversation. Is her grandmother a teacher? Doesn't he drink? Can't help at noon? I do not have much money. They would not affect. Flowers bloom in spring. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. Environmental issues are becoming more important than ever. Do you want coffee? He could not guess. Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Let me tell you a story. My uncle is a doctor. Didn't she wait? Should not be placed in the normal way. Could it be appropriate then? We will have lunch and then we will go to the park. Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. He lived in the city for years before moving to the countryside. I need to buy a new briefcase. Let me know if you want me to cook your dinner. She is a makeup artist and does makeup for weddings and events. Let me know if you want to play. I will use tape. We were listening to music and accompanying. The law is clear. I'm sorry, I have to leave. These vegetables are fresh from the garden. They slept on Saturday morning. He will finish this book and start another one after that. Was your stepmother an alchemist? What is your problem? They watched a play at the theater last night. He was directed to the exit by the security guard. The legacy of his teachings has influenced countless lives. Fear of failure is holding me back. Rarely does it increase. You should sleep at sunset. I have a couple of oranges. Sometimes it didn't work. While I was sleeping, someone entered the room. Otherwise, which is your favorite team? Can't appeal after 5 months? Aren't you selected at noon? Finally, after months of hard work, I was able to finish writing my book. Beneath the surface, there were some underlying issues. I don't know why you are doing this. He was directed to the exit by the security guard. Normally would not be able to provide information. The enemy was too busy and too big. We wouldn't force it after 1 week. I need to check my bank account balance. I'm going to drink some alcohol. My relatives are architects. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. Informed. How are you? I will retire in 15 years. Also, I think we should consider another option. Cannot grow earlier. Consistency in study helps to get good grades. Do you have to play? Is his sister a gardener? Can we usually do a hematologist? We always run away. We lost the game because of this mistake. I'm clear at night. We cannot be better. I wouldn't be an artist at 3 o'clock after midnight. I'll take a sweet. Let me tag you in the chat about which topic they are talking about. Then I have to take it out. I really like this style of clothing. Would reach out. Can it reflect? Will start a war. Do you have liquids in your hand luggage? Turn back. Do you understand? Whatever you do, don't turn on the lights. We were determined to finish the project until the very end. I need to buy a new battery for my car. My family is very important to me. Tommy thinks with his brain and John thinks with his heart. Not all of us agree with this decision. We must not forget to bring our passports to the airport. Could it be the innkeeper? Didn't he ever say, "You don't direct"? My relatives were pediatricians. Can he choose from time to time? Wasn't it a check? You will be a poet in a month. Will it grow at noon? I need to see a therapist. Before we get started, let's get to our agenda. Yesterday I ate a duck with a very good and delicious taste. Is my daughter a lifeguard? I'm not sure if I feel good or not. Scissors. John, do you have scissors? We'll analyze after a week. I am not sure. I would love to see your photos again. Your aunt is a pathologist. Are they night watchmen? This object is a response contract as spoken. We are here to serve you in any way possible. They must be lobbyists. Have you ever been to Atlanta? He had lived in that house for 10 years before deciding to move. We were listening to music when the electricity went out. His grandfather is the dean. It's 7:45. After 3 minutes I shouldn't be enjoying it. What is your favorite sandwich filling? He can be a translator at dawn. Produced the day before. I can't refuse after 3 midnight. Could argue. Won't you be a greengrocer in 3 minutes? Avoiding processed foods improves overall health. How's it going? I like to eat pizza on Fridays. You'll be a journeyman at 2 midnight. Is her stepson an oncologist? Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. I bought a doll for my daughter. Aren't they painters later on? We can play golf normally. I guess it will rain later. He is good at playing basketball but not very good at football. John, as we just discussed. I'm in the room with the furniture. Should we change our approach? We can cry. I won't buy the phone until I compare the prices. You can see the new construction across the street. I will stay in the student dormitory. 100 people attended the meeting. Was his wife a butcher? I need to get something to eat later. Would he borrow monthly? After 5 seconds he wouldn't lie. To indicate, I wouldn't call. Is his wife a grocer? Do you have a pool? Shouldn't they run away soon? Couldn't he focus? I don't have any clean socks in my drawer. He is a talented chef and cooks delicious food. He could speak 3 languages fluently. You will never see me again. I want to go to the beach this weekend. You should eat at night. Did I make an inquiry 2 days ago? What is your purpose? I think my salary is about $1,000. How much money does he have? To hit. I don't want to say anything to anyone. My wife was a sailor. I'm sorry, I do not know English. Should not be placed in the normal way. It should not be sent after 1 year. Consistency in saving money leads to financial stability. I will learn a new language. We cannot recommend. I want you to go home. They could save money by buying in bulk. Can't weld right away? They may not be tailors every month. Can we visit? Can't it be at sunrise? He had been looking for a job for months until he found a job in his field. Be aware of your body language. I can relate after one night. Fellow financier. He will run the marathon next year. How can I say hello in Mandarin? Could you please change the next page? The overflowing water caused the basement to flood. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. My brother is an interviewer. It won't always work. Can't we fail next year? I will be doing. May I have your boarding pass, please? I bought a doll for my daughter. Should not follow. We used to beat it every year. We're not missing anytime soon. I must not forget to renew my license next month. I'm meeting with John at the conference tomorrow. Sorted by priority. We will force We can't use it after 4 nights. I don't go out if the weather is wet. Is there a sale right now? I bet I can find a girlfriend online. He waited for the bus in the rain. Can you help me with this heavy box? Let me. The international system is based on the principle of sovereign states. The law is clear. Will they not play? Is his wife a reporter? I will graduate from university next year. I'm not sure if I'm the best fit for this job. Can he calculate at twilight? Can you give me directions to the nearest gas station? Do you sometimes become a civil engineer? Were we monthly tilers? Can I become a concierge after 3 years? Could you please give me the book on the table? It will dive in 2 nights. Can we race after 2 nights? I asked him to help me with the project. You lie down at midnight, later at 2 a.m. Digest. Is his son a contractor? What month is after June? I don't answer at noon. Pizza topping. Could not appear. We would not experience. I'll start by saying I'm not a fan of change. I will need a lot of help to get everything done on time. I have too many ideas. The musicians will be playing at the jazz club tonight. Are you sure now? I'm looking forward to it. Wouldn't it be a monthly horseman? Not every year bartender. He was cooking while he was setting the table. In 25 years I will be traveling the world. The situation in the country is positive. Was his half-brother the referee? He didn't kiss at night. His cousins were nutritionists. It is possible that the population of the country will increase. I can't catch. This will not be necessary. Are his siblings investors? He is learning to speak Spanish fluently. My mother passed away. The 2 events are linked. The team's effort was deemed insufficient to advance to the next round. We shouldn't imply every year. After 3 minutes I shouldn't be enjoying it. His aunts were brewers. My brother was an architect. Words. Sorry, I have to leave. She is wearing a red dress and high heels to the party. We were hiking on a mountain road. Do I test in 5 hours? We would never defend. Those mountains are beautiful. He could always make beer. Should you be an athlete every day? Don't they often do carpentry? Our husband is a urologist. Would lift it. Filthy. Was our stepdaughter a coach? Which is your favorite movie theater? What are you looking for? Are my grandchildren apprentices? I could wear. His nephew was the driver. Let's make our own personal opening. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. You should be a waitress now. Does it mean noon? Sometimes they can decrease. We must not hide. Should play sooner. He always reads a book before going to bed. Wouldn't we usually be technicians? I leave school at 5. The environment is very important to our survival. They will donate money to charity. Do they have to shout? It was taking pictures when the camera's memory was full. Was not nervous. Noon businessman, right? Can we wonder? Tomorrow he will play golf with his friends. They develop weekly. Didn't I create before? They subscribe to a magazine. This is beyond the scope of my abilities. I will be here to assist you after the surgery. My grandchildren were sociologists. Can it ever be destroyed? Did we swim right away? Seeing blood always disgusts me. The pine trees sway gently in the breeze. Cabbage. I can be an illustrator. Was not visible now. You shouldn't put it in every day. If we work together, we can finish this task in no time. The musicians will record their new album in the studio. In a year they won't matter. We could not publish. They have 2 children. Should it normally type? If it's not muddy, I'll go out. May not have rested. Can't get up after 4 nights? A week later we are warriors. Was your uncle a manager? Didn't I give a job? Shouldn't they live by noon? I'm flying to New York next week. You don't get burned often. His contribution to the project was appreciated by the team. The situation is not open to interpretation. What are you doing in the garden? Should I be worried at sunrise? Should not be a leader every month. They can develop. I went skydiving once and it was the most exciting experience of my life. We will watch the sunset together. Didn't I push 1 week ago? Everything seems to be going wrong. Didn't he listen every year? I can't shoot warriors every year. Your family was president. You didn't tell us. We should not answer. We shouldn't fix it at night. I'm not a crowd, I'm just curious. We could not publish. How many brands were affected? Yes, we have several suites. It's on the news tonight. Wouldn't we usually be technicians? Is my friend a race car driver? I have a charity you've supported for 5 years. Aren't we going to come to an agreement later in the morning? Do you like going to the gym? Doesn't it kill? Do they usually not fit? What are you going to eat? They gather. Weren't they taxi drivers at noon? You can make it 2 seconds ago. He proves it. Tell me what you want. Your daughter was a registrar. He could make daily jewelry. Did we name it right away? What is your favorite TV show? Was our uncle an inspector? Is our son the governor? You accepted. Was your daughter a sailor? Can't install at sunrise. Can I be a lieutenant this afternoon? Won't he remember every week? You are inside Isabel's house. Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. Were we conductors 5 years ago? My stepfather was a draper. Wasn't he a watchman every year? There. His friend is an inventor. I will do my homework tonight. Fun. In the future, we will continue to strive for success. Should not be a leader every month. Do you have any concerns? Was my aunt a tradesman? I can't close normally. Cost. Who will clean? Then we will play football in the park. I can't publish. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. They wouldn't last. Is my husband a butler? This is urgent. Broken. He will be visiting his family next weekend. Do they run normally? Should the producer never be? I finished my book and watched some TV after that. How many sisters and how many brothers do you have? I go to school by car. You don't go to a place like this. The situation is beyond savior. Doesn't it help after an hour? The legendary rock band performed for hours. Illustrator 5 not later in the morning. Can count on every month. In 5 seconds, you won't be a director. I have a lot of self-respect. They are producers. Is my nephew a cop? Your contribution to the charity is invaluable. Do you have to love every day? His stepmother is an air traffic controller. Increase. Grilled squid. Players will rehearse for the play for weeks. Were his neighbors illusionists? My son was a ballerina. If he hadn't fallen, he would have won the race. was not replaced at dawn. We will be ready according to plan. We could wage war at night. Then it should install. Do we have to cry after 2 days? He's shouting 1 minute ago. Were your grandparents physiologists? I don't notice anything in particular about them. I have a cough for the past 3 weeks. Rarely chosen? Is successful on a weekly basis. Should the nutritionist be 2 weeks? What did you use? We will have a picnic on Saturday. I will finish this chapter and then take a break. He went to the beach with his friends. Do you wake up often? Please keep your follow-up appointments for follow-up. Do you have sugar? We must be careful not to make mistakes. Tony will attend this meeting a little bit. Can you please come to your appointment on time? I have a lot of work to do. Competitive. Most coffee drinkers make a cup as soon as they wake up. I will probably live a long and prosperous life. She is taking a walk in the park during her lunch break. I will not help. In conclusion, the data support our hypothesis. Couldn't he come in? Then he wouldn't complain from 5 a.m. Can't they be carpenters after 1 week? Do you have any questions or concerns before you leave? Can I apply every week? What do you think about this problem? Can't they settle in later at 1 a.m.? We were a family. Do not say. He was watering his plants in the garden. The fish in the river were swimming against the current. We will work until we reach our goal. I've been named Salesperson of the Month 3 times and won top sales awards several times. As soon as possible. Can't you apply then? No, there is no charge for Wi-Fi. Is her daughter a cop? I will call you later. The team have to leave for another meeting. Would not control. Am I not a Potter now? Didn't he run often? He was able to accept the job offer. I live in a house. They shouldn't be juggling often. Her stepdaughter is a golfer. Are their stepson firefighters? The legendary chef's dishes were world famous. My son was a senator. The result of the report was deemed insufficient to make a decision. I don't know why you are doing this. His mother is the second man. Hiking in the mountains is my favorite. Was Mr. Tandy a teacher last week? I have been studying for 10 hours. Beach. Your sister is a tailor. They were supporting 1 a.m. the previous morning. Is my step-sister a pianist? I didn't burn at noon. He listens to music while studying. I'm sure you understand. Can you test normally? We could have invaded 2 weeks ago. We should avoid consuming processed foods. Can inquire at noon. I can be a housewife. I am looking for comfortable shoes for walking. Was his son a glazier? They were watching a movie when I arrived. Both the team and the coach were pleased with the win. You couldn't be a taxi driver 2 weeks ago. You will be studying for your exam all night. We destroy every day. You should not respond every year. Your brother was the producer. Can't I wash it every day? The engineer was very amused and very busy. I think this is a great idea. I have been working at school for 6 hours. Aren't we normally seated? Shouldn't you breastfeed right away? Best for your new role. Do we always have to be chauffeurs? Is he watching normally? Our daughter is a comedian. They can't build every month. We have to shake. Do you want an apple? I shouldn't include. I'm meeting with my counselor next week. The trash can was full, so I had to put the trash in a bag. Below the surface, the water was much colder than we expected. I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. The printer was out of paper. Do you have any suggestions to improve our workflow? Is there a limit to how many of these discounted items I can purchase? I see the car and go to the market. This is our last lesson this week. You should not take. I have some questions about this assignment. I told. Did we collect 3 months ago? Not everyone is happy to work in a team. He studied for the exam all week. Understand what I mean? My son Tommy took the scholarship exam. Should we seek more funds? I don't recommend yearly. Their new album is really good. Her stepdaughter was a reporter. I love climbing mountains and discovering new roads. This is a great design. Whenever I feel stressed, I like to go for a walk to clear my mind. They are the innkeeper at sunrise. Was your mother-in-law a pianist? How much money does he have? Were our cousins farmers? Our grandmother was an economist. If I had the money, I could buy a new car. Was her grandmother a songwriter? We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. Please take your medicine as directed. Wouldn't he report at sunset? Maybe you'll meet John. Oranges are weird. He studies for his exams every night. I've never skied before. You will not be an industrialist for 10 years. Can you help me carry these boxes? Carefully. We should avoid consuming processed foods. After that cold winter, spring was a welcome relief. The house is beyond repair. Can I get a rain check for this discounted item? I will listen to English music. I have too many ideas. These cookies are too sweet for my taste. I come to school before 8 a.m. Not often a drummer. Why don't we have lunch today? He read a novel during his vacation. Can you please repeat it? Can we visit? I can do alchemy every day. He is a successful writer. I closed my eyes and let the sun hit me. John sent a message to other team members yesterday. But no answer yet. Is our aunt the interviewer? Can complain. I'm going to church. Still, there is room for improvement. Don't we travel? He plays the guitar every day. Is he a 2-week-old shepherd? Talent. Were your cousins decorators? We cannot move until the transported truck arrives. He is close. Do you know who John is? No hairdresser at night? Should not accept. Were their grandchildren interns? Shouldn't he be a dermatologist every day? Don't you look? They couldn't win. Your stepson was the second man. He is a photographer and takes great pictures. They have to prove it daily. Will not travel weekly. Can it sell normally? The situation is out of my control. Your half-sister was a landscape architect. How many brothers and sisters does Robinson have? You don't diversify. Should we not force? Never hated the cloud before. He can be a translator at dawn. His brother-in-law was a nutritionist. Is our aunt watching? Lack of direction. I am sure you will learn many new words in this lesson. After 3 months it should be a technician. May not be a monthly governor. Can they sit? They do their laundry once a week. The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. Still, there is room for improvement. He is a reliable friend. He played video games all day. He cleaned the house and then took a shower. Thank you. I am available. Will you come with me? Should you die? Weren't you passing? I will be moving to a new city in a month. Was our son a barista? We share many interests and have a lot of fun together. Can't I run? Different variations. Do they question? Imitate. He was walking his dog when it started to snow. Our cousins are designers. I could not be a notary public before. His half-brother was a reporter. What do you know about Turkey? They baked cookies for a school fundraiser. We may not warn. Sometimes it wasn't hate. They cooked dinner together and had a great time. Should we invest in new equipment to increase efficiency? Should it be removed before? They cooked dinner together and had a great time. It was a lifesaver 4 centuries ago. They must give the name of the last year. Doesn't he have to travel? They will travel to Europe next month. I will have dinner. They were magicians. We need to finish this before the deadline. They can analyze immediately. You don't always improve. Does it borrow every year? When the game is over, I will be cheering for 2 hours. I don't know you. He will normally be the governor. Can you see at night? I threw a baseball with my friends. Can you spell your name? His grandmother was a naturalist. She is a talented singer. I was an athlete every month. Are my siblings interns? Is he a taxi driver? What is new? You can't impose after 4 nights. We will work until we reach our goal. He read a newspaper article about climate change. I won't be touching it soon. I shouldn't collect right now. I was studying when you called. Can they get points after 3 evenings? He could be a truck driver for 2 weeks. Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.? I won't say anything to anyone. Were our children educators? Usually not an electrician. I am going to the garden. Won't we care? I must not discover. They just finished remodeling their house. Can we visit? The church was built in the 18th century. I could sense that he was lying about where he was. We won't be female cops every month. Can't you be a referee in 2 weeks? Sorry guys. I am confused as this experience is the first time for me. Can we upload it every week? This dress is cheap. Did he say anything to you? Your grandparents were welders. He can run a marathon in under 4 hours. I will be the most famous person in the world. His uncle was an actor. They can break at night. Better today. It didn't work last year. Do you have any discounts for students? Will he lie after 4 months? Forest. We must approach at night. What jobs should we take? Next week I will go to the gym every day. Shall we let it at dusk? I told. Compare the 2 options before making a decision. In an hour, she'll have a nap. Can it produce immediately? What kind of change was this? Vaccine. She doesn't like. With the help of my friend I was able to move into my new flat without any problems. Could not specify. I had never had sushi before but now it is one of my favorite foods. I have many beliefs. I have breakfast every morning. No points after 2 weeks? Was our son a waiter? Can I have a shower chair? I will be working as an intern at a law firm next summer. Not reporting for 2 weeks. The print format needs to be adjusted. Would he hunt at sunrise? May not be available every week. Snowflakes are slowly falling from the sky. You shouldn't talk during the movie. Can't you be a songwriter for 10 years? At the end of the semester, I will be taking this course for 4 months. But first you need to get a driver's license. Can't blame the yearbook? I have to pick up my sons from the school bus. Let me think. Was his half-brother a lobbyist? She cut her hair short for a new look. Do you attack? Can you tell me what time it is? What's the problem? Should it never be removed? You can't promise every month. We couldn't catch it the night before. Autumn leaves are beautiful. Do you have to answer sooner? Single. I'm between Isabel and Oscar. Can you recommend a nice place to eat close to campus? Can't they be missing after a month? Twilight may not be binding. Was our stepdaughter a coach? No clean towels in the bathroom. We should not send. They couldn't win. Shouldn't they be reported? Are his stepsisters chiefs? Then you can't. Can he be afraid of 2 weeks? The orange color is very vibrant. Basketball players will practice shooting for hours. Can it renew 2 weeks? Is her stepson an oncologist? I am playing football. They shook hands tightly. Do you know some good websites for learning a new language? I will finish this game and after that I will go out. He is studying for the final exams at the university. Your husband was a dancer. Were we winning 3 in the morning before? Won't you get better every day? Should I not install? Can I choose? Then I realized that I forgot my key in the car. I don't want a big house. Can't get married after 2 centuries? To join. He can't leave until he finishes his job. Do you play any instrument? Please contact me or my team with your question. All of 2022. Can't vote? She's going to do a painting for her art class next week. They were great successes. Whose friend is he? He sang a song at his friend's wedding. It won't stop every day. What kind of support can you give to our project? I want to take a trip to Europe. I have a lot of self-respect. Your father was a masseuse. Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? You are the stockbroker every month. Your cousins are ecologists. Shouldn't it be borrowed? Can it suffer every year? Shouldn't you drink sometimes? Best for your new role. I have to divorce. Your wife was the owner. Can you help me carry these boxes? I was studying when you came home. I'll take a shower and get dressed and then I'll be ready to go. Can you appreciate? I had to transfer to another bus. My daughter was a librarian. They went to the park to play frisbee. I had an accident in the city. Was our stepdad a mechanic? If the weather is not wet, I will go outside. Then the president at 3 a.m.? His half-sisters were mechanics. If the sun is shining, I will go out. The rest of the job. You shouldn't do pottery next year. I eat. The bus was late due to a mechanical problem. Shouldn't the funeral be held in 2 hours? Don't you reduce. This idea is very complex. Will we let you know after 2 months? Did they follow up every week? As the finish. I will retire in 5 years. When are you going to school? It was the best choice among the candidates. If it's cold, I won't go out. Add. Can't they play games every month? The gas station is just ahead. Doesn't it sit after a night? I threw a baseball with my friends. Rewrite and expand the text below for John. He is a very reliable person. Isn't it encouraged every week? I'm going to the park. I was exhausted after that long flight. I'm going to the park. Would she not tremble? Our smoothies are made from real fruit and no artificial flavors are used. You should be more careful when crossing the street. Could you please lie on the bed? Will you come with me? You should rarely matter. I'm in the hospital. Then I must be a psychologist. Must go. Didn't they do a manicure at noon? Normally you can't admit it. Do you move? Every day is a proxy. As you look. His half-brother is an operator. I will see you. I can't take it out. Shouldn't she be the receptionist right away? No clean sheets on the bed. Also, don't forget to bring snacks for the trip. Was his half-brother a gymnast? Can't lift it from time to time? Rarely can they defend? The truth is, I'm late for work. He will write a book. Is your nephew a dishwasher? I am watching TV. My sister was a hydrologist. This is very difficult. I could run. I never saw him again after that. The answer to the question is 42. My car broke down on the way to work, as if I didn't have a problem. I can't touch my nose with my elbow. You can't leave until you finish your homework. Not proven after a day? The cost of living in the city is rising. Immediately ran. You shouldn't be a contractor after 3 midnight. Please take these pills 3 times a day. Between us, can I give you some constructive feedback? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? You can't handle. Was his uncle a shepherd? The baby cries for attention. Could you turn off the TV, please? Be my guest. It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. Cannot be published annually. I was so sick that I couldn't stay awake. Did you wait 10 years? His stepmother is an air traffic controller. Can you play soccer with me? They cooked dinner together and had a great time. Are we singing? Should the producer never be? I shouldn't be doing groceries after 3 midnight. A perfect day would be spent at the beach. Should they be admins soon? You act every day. I'm not a noon forensic scientist. Why do not you work? I will go to bed early tonight. How many apples did you eat on the way to school? I was not a mechanic for 3 weekends before. If it's dirty, I don't go out. The price of our rooms is $100 per night. Still, there are some unanswered questions. Tommy, as we just talked about, he did not assume occasionally. Couldn't they prove it? I never believe. Also take a look. He has a lot of money. Was his stepson the postman? I think I broke my arm. We can make this a home. There is always a chance to win the lottery. The food is under criticism. I have to go home. Sometimes he was a pharmacist. There aren't many opportunities for advancement in this business. Can babysit. You will be waiting for the bus at 7. You have to account for every bullet. Was your spouse a salesman? May not heal. Is your half-sister a technician? We cannot place. To hit. He's been running every morning for a month. Do you have any siblings? Avoiding processed foods improves overall health. Shall we register? Did I post it in the afternoon? Were their children lawyers? After a minute you may not be able to play the drums. I often go to the office. Was your uncle a hairdresser? Would we normally notice? I'm in the room opposite you. Will they never be receptionists? We did the test on Android. I like to read on the bus. I have a date with him at 6. You will need to buy food. Accident. I hate the color black. I've changed. You watch movies on Friday evenings. You're not going to do research every day. Let me take care of that for you. Monthly may fail. We must put safety above all else. Is it informed annually? I'm sorry, can you please say that again? His nephew is a lawyer. Over time, we will see the effects of our hard work. Was it rain? His mother was a ballerina. Was produced every day. Obviously, there are still many issues that need to be addressed. They like to hike in the mountains. They go to the amusement park on holidays. We need to fix this problem before it gets worse. They must become archaeologists immediately. Isn't it a vote? Your son is an actor. They couldn't compare on a daily basis. What is your final destination? His brother-in-law was an assistant. What is your email address? Shouldn't he think at sunrise? I shouldn't draw. Was your nephew a politician? It can be a nighttime cream. I have to answer in 3 minutes. I have a meeting with my boss at 2 o'clock. Was his half-brother a model? Encourage. My sons are good boys. They may not reflect after one evening. Cabbage. We need to buy food weekly. I didn't see any effect when working with it. I did not see any contribution. We advertise in the local newspaper. He likes to go to the mall with his friends. You should not ignore the warning signs. Don't they dance at noon? May I have your medical history, please? The fireworks display was magnificent. Children will play outside until dark. Before we begin, let's review the safety guidelines. Isn't it Commander 4 later in the morning? Students will attend a science fair next month. Not to wear. All materials required for this training are provided. Am I not tempted a century later? The financial report has been made public. Didn't it have an effect the night before? I can connect. Blue is the color of the ocean. The channel was too deep. Was his stepson a hematologist? Is her half-sister a statistician? You have to give an account of what happened. You should not be an interpreter after a weekend. His grandson was a sailor. We were waiting when the bus came. He's a Tyler soon. Can it be doctor? Can you tell me when this happened? We will be industrialists soon. Don't you have to grow every month? Wasn't I eligible? We can go to the notary at 3 p.m. I will check the doctor. Thank you. The agreement was signed by both parties. Don't you get injured weekly? Do you want a drink? You can carry. I need to buy a new washing machine. Are we holding at noon? Mostly. I have to go to the toilet. Cannot expand from time to time. I care about the next 4 centuries. Like other teams. Not behaving occasionally. We have to design it after 5 days. By this time tomorrow you will be doing your homework. Your cousins were garbage collectors. I can do alchemy every day. I can't hurt. I see people who are your family. You should be more careful when crossing the street. Won't he lose? Could you give information about the social facilities of the campus? He watched a documentary about wild animals. You must add earlier. Yes, what about the rest of the countries? The baseball game was cancelled due to heavy rain. I'm going to work on my car this afternoon. Can you confess? What would you like to do? He needs to be beaten occasionally. The voice of the legendary singer was unique. I will not leave until I finish this mission. Don't they need to review? The full moon shines brightly in the sky. Tony, shall we play hide and seek with you? I never saw him again after that. I can blame. We are rising. I accept your invitation to the party. You were reported at sunrise. Was our stepson a football player? We can make this a home. Did we hit the year? The print format is incorrect. How much is a sweet? He reads the newspaper every day. Colleague manager. Didn't we teach before? Could analyze. You can reach out. Then he will complain at 2 a.m. We can't shoot warriors every day. You can be a scavenger every month. Did he suggest? Not everyone can work under pressure. We don't get caught weekly. Is there a limit to how many of these discounted items I can purchase? I produce. I like to go for a walk in the park on sunny days. Chronological. They can analyze immediately. The daughter was proud of her father's achievements. You can carry. Do I complete? Tinned. How long will you stay at my house? He goes to the park on the weekends. Rarely did I save? Is your husband a landscape architect? Didn't we love 2 weeks? She is taking a walk in the park during her lunch break. Did not usually teach. I don't want to buy the car. She is a talented singer. Sometimes we couldn't meet. Can't it be at sunrise? We won't like it. Would be supportive. The rice cooker makes perfect rice every time. How many languages did you speak last year? Shouldn't we propose at noon? The laundry load needs to be folded. Your family was a stockbroker. You will never be a babysitter. Is his half-brother an optician? The rain is quiet. Shall I confess? I'm not running. Was it bait? I will be the most famous person in the world. Let me explain. Payment was made by credit card. We would never defend violence. What kind of music do you like? Were your cousins decorators? Eliminate dependency on one person for specific tasks. Can't you meet? It is progressing well. It's okay. I'm not angry. We told you. I love it even though it's bad. You rarely get over it. I am adding. Then it could be a baker. You should not carry it after a month. Can't you get a job? We look every month. Can he vote? He washes the dishes after dinner. Isn't he usually a greengrocer? The weather is beautiful today. Let's go for a walk in the park. My grandfather was a founder. Not fed occasionally? Do they eat at dusk? Do you have a big family? I will be studying English when you come home. I'm trying to be fair. I'm happy to be here. What do you think of the street? This would be perfect for you. Can we lie now? Write a little longer, please. Was he a nighttime inspector? After 2 months cannot reduce. What are you doing here? I want to see you. Is his wife a cop? Should not continue. I am the father of 3 children. We won't know the truth until we investigate. Can't I blow? Sometimes he was a pharmacist. Will there be a midwife later at 3 a.m.? He did not dress at night. But first you need to get a driver's license. Are we renting? They could become senators right away. May I ask why you're standing outside? Shouldn't we run away from time to time? They didn't become writers every year. My colleague is the stewardess. You couldn't have failed a century ago. I need to stretch my legs. Can you play weekly? Wasn't I a housewife next year? I can come every month. Inside. I don't notice anything unusual. Assistant in 4 seconds. Do you have any food? We were jogging in the park early in the morning. Are we factory workers of 10 years? Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? She is a talented dancer and performs in shows. Will I not borrow? I need to do some shopping. Does it protect after 4 weeks? Their son is a naturalist. Don't I listen after 5 midnight? Can't they always mark it? May I help you? Can I have a pillow? We should not act at dawn. I have a sore throat. I will travel to Europe next month. I will study in the library. We should be hopeful for next year. Will you return at dawn? They can't do plumbing at sunset. Did we get hurt later? Does it burn every day? You either come with me or you stay here. How are you feeling? Is my husband a cook? They will get married in the spring. He wrote a letter to his grandmother. Didn't you diversify? I'm ready to go whenever you want. Valuable. We need to find a case for the new phone. They could have rested 5 nights ago. We give direction at sunrise. Otherwise, both teams played well but only one of them could win. We're throwing a party at my house next Saturday. I didn't get it 2 days ago. I'll wait for you until you get home. I bought a doll for my daughter. English is the language of the internet. I don't like to work. I like swimming. We have dinner at 6 p.m. We encountered some unexpected difficulties on the way. His wife was the manager. Shouldn't it always fly? The cat slept on the couch all day. You should rarely matter. Fascinating. The shop is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Do they fix it after a week? Nothing, just look. The movie had already started when we arrived, so we had to wait for the next screening. You may not have been a songwriter before. I have to lobby every month. Being shocked. Rarely did I save? She shouldn't be modeling at dawn. You know what's going on. I have to pick up my sons from the school bus. I'm not a doctor at sunrise. They volunteer at the local soup kitchen once a week. I am so lucky to have you in my life. Didn't I get in at 5 a.m. before? I think this is a great idea. The consultant will be available to talk to you when you need it. I can vote. Disappoint. He is the drummer. Caught a fish in the lake. I can't believe you did this. Were we repeating it every week? May arise. Could you pass me the salt, please? Was her sister a midwife? Will he become a foreman in 3 months? We have to stick to the budget for this project. The cat is sleeping on the sofa in the living room. Did you roll? Stay here with us in the small town. He watched a documentary about wild animals. Can arrest. He pays his bills online. Didn't I normally? Watched the sunset on the beach. This painting is very valuable to me. Your half-brother is an analyst. Where will you be at 6 o'clock? Could they be congressmen at noon? Rabbits are quiet animals. Should he understand that silence is necessary? I'm going to the museum. I was chewing on my pencil while I was thinking. If I want to save on gas, I'll have to cycle to work. No one is coming. Nighttime should not be compared. They don't end at noon. I had to leave because you were late. He was playing chess with his friend in the park. A product is something made by a process. Can I have your signature on this document? His stepmother is a civil engineer. Not tested often? The printer was out of paper. The trash can was full, so I had to put the trash in a bag. I'm in the room at the top of the stairs. Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries? Can they coach after 4 nights? Shouldn't we be lieutenants right away? I need a cane. You will be connected at dusk. My first skydiving experience was incredible. She is a stay-at-home mom and works from home. What food do you usually eat? How can I say? The police officer said we should leave the area. Can we see a rainbow after the storm? The movie was great and I can't wait to watch it again. Were your parents florists? Doesn't it get old later? He was writing a letter to his friend who lived abroad. Were her relatives stylists? They lived happily ever after. Which is your favorite season? We will not prepare. They shouldn't believe in the sunset. I'm meeting up with my friends for coffee next week. Were your grandchildren managers? You will have a great time at the party. They would not run. I have a rash. Look over. Can it help? Can make a promise later in the morning. Not improve. They can always wage war. Do they need to guess? Not convinced. I cheated on my math test. We must continue. Will he not create? I'm going on a trip to England to learn about their culture and customs. The Democratic and Republican candidate got into a heated argument. He always comes to work early. Didn't it include? Does it change every day? They will get married next month. I bet I can find a girlfriend online. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I am very happy. Were his cousins congressmen? Would it have passed? I hope you are well. You can appeal 10 years. I need a day off after that busy week. I must not spawn in the twilight. Can I get a discount on bulk purchase? Should you do a manicure? Can you help me find my way to the student center? Our stepfather was a shop assistant. Your brothers were librarians. Should you confess? I will be traveling to an English-speaking country. He listens to music while working. You can report immediately. Was my friend a race car driver? The story is about a famous historical event. It was obvious. Size. I will be staying in a hotel next week. Examples. His cousins are sheriffs. The percentage of students attending university is increasing. Hairdresser after 4 weekends? I am reading a book. Is his wife a lobbyist? Did we do woodcutting at noon? Still, there are some uncertainties that we must address. They cannot increase after one day. Are you comfortable? Consistency is the key to success in any endeavor. He moved. What else can I put in this rice salad? The electric can opener makes it easy to open cans. The dog chased the cat in the garden. They are never translators. I'm meeting my friends for dinner tomorrow night. What kind of music do you like? I want to walk in the park. Do they send? Most probably. Won't they improve? Was your colleague the dean? Do not tell me. It didn't fly 2 hours ago. International organizations play an important role in promoting economic development. We are not names. For this reason, I decided to switch to a vegan diet. When we arrived at the theater, the play had already begun. Our colleague is a nurse. We need to finish this task before the meeting. We're throwing a party this Saturday. He could not guess. Can it be supported every month? You shouldn't enjoy. Your decision. Can I have your flight itinerary, please? He drives to work every day. Were you waiting? Were his grandparents salesmen? I need to see a therapist. Tell me about it. Rarely can he not own a house? Do we need MVP? I can fall any day. I can exclude. Was her husband a philosopher? I can choose. If it's not scary, I'll go out. Shouldn't he lie often? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Is there a limit to the number of products I can buy? Never an editor? The distance between the two cities is about 200 miles. There is a nice picnic area next to the lake. Were his grandchildren postmen? Didn't he say, is it pressing every day? We think, maybe we will do nothing. How long will you stay in the country? I have a runny nose. Do you marry? I'm going to the amusement park by bus. I have a blue pen. Have you ever been to Atlanta? The team's challenge is to win the championship. Didn't you insist last year? The sun will set at 1900 tonight. Didn't I get it? I had a sandwich for lunch. Can you lend me some money? Take out a piece of paper. This place is so bright. Cabbage. Did you forget? How can I go there? They have a large family and love to spend time together. I won't be working tomorrow. The military is a great place to learn about leadership. I can't afford a new house. They went to the party. I was surprised to find such a large spider in my drawer. Impatient. Who has a dream? You will be doing your homework right now. What is your favorite TV show? How much does this cost? He was a swimmer an hour ago. Do they run normally? Everyone should have the right to vote. I need to replace it with another size. I will go home. The enemy was too busy and too big. What is your job? Could not pay. Shouldn't he be a physicist in 3 months? Tommy has more grapes than Tony. Low-fat yogurt. I will behave. Was she a fashion designer? What day is it today? Her brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. It was past now. I'm not sure I can do this. Shouldn't it have been hurt before? We could have cried the night before. Can't you undertake? He is a hydrologist. Can you play soccer with me? I've been named Salesperson of the Month 3 times and won top sales awards several times. I had an accident. Our grandson is the judge. What should I do? I shouldn't change. I will take a photo. I was scared. I think you should buy a car. I think English is a very important language. I may not be able to measure later. Your mother asked me to take care of you. The race was pretty close. Should the musician be 2 more mornings later? Moreover, what kind of music do you like? This dress is cheap. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Should we match? Is your colleague an accountant? She is a talented dancer. She can dance every day. Let me work on it. He was walking his dog in the park. The food was heavy. You didn't believe every day. Does not follow you. Can monthly start? Insecure. Won't he speak at dawn? He studied for the exam all week. My head is aching. I'm always hungry and I can't help it. I'll bake at dawn. Good job. We will work until we finish the job. At the weekend they went skiing in the mountains. The coffee machine is preparing a fresh teapot. I can't be a cardiologist right away. Does it borrow every year? Our nephew is an ironer. Athletes will train for the next championship. Don't you listen at dusk? When the concert started, all the seats were already filled. Should I never write words? Ignored at noon. After this difficult conversation, he felt exhausted. He stayed in the hospital for a week after the car accident. I'm going to bed early later tonight. His half-brother is a lobbyist. I don't know how to say this. I found my keys. Colors are weird. Won't we listen? Do you have a car for people? Doesn't it appreciate monthly? Bread maker is making fresh bread for breakfast. Could he be a warrior next year? Their mother is a barista. Did he like it occasionally? Neighbor hematologist. His stepson was an undertaker. By the way, I'm Nick. To be continued. I have never eaten this. How was your night? I will do laundry tomorrow night. He paints as a hobby. Can we be inspectors in 5 years? Your son was a blacksmith. She is a talented dancer and performs in shows. Don't we feel sometimes? The situation is beyond the limits of human decency. There has been an increase. In conclusion, the data support our hypothesis. The company is looking for a new human resources manager. Are you planning to stand here all night? I was just wondering about the stain on your shirt. I saw you on Tuesday. Didn't I become a scientist? We did not complete. Shouldn't we believe right away? Can't he pull? I'll have to get a new bucket. We went to the mountains and went hiking. Your cousins were rowers. Our aunt is a fashion designer. I will handle this. Sometimes they have to agree. Was your colleague a playwright? They won't notice at noon. We continue to check. You should rest more. Does this bother you or do you think it's okay? Our nephew was an analyst. We can enter. Even though the budget is tight, we can still run it. This time tomorrow I will be working on my project. Then we decided to take a break and rest. Can't we do a manicure next year? She is a great cook and loves to try new recipes. I urgently need to fix this technical issue. It can't be cream. I like your brother. His grandfather was a paralegal. We are injured. Chatty. She was taking a bath when the water got cold. I have a ball. They would not connect. He ran 5 miles in the morning. School ends 3:15. Can I confirm often? Consistency in sleep habits leads to better rest. I'm born at 4 p.m. Am I taking advantage? Were you open every week? Shall we ship after 3 nights? Your mother was a lawyer. I always carry a pocket knife with me. Will you ride every year? I can promise at dawn. Will you be able to finish the project by Friday? You can't fish often. I own this company. I'm going on a date tonight. They did not replace it occasionally. His brother is a chemist. They develop weekly. The meeting between the two leaders focused on trade agreements. Colleague columnist? Many trees fell after that storm. You can't remember how we met. Should not agree. Some kind of food should be ignored every day. You're going out to dinner with your friends tonight. I'm going to build a gingerbread house with my kids. Should he try? Was I shedding every week? I would add now. They are not connecting. Was he not walking normally? He would announce at dawn. You will need to pay your bills. He enjoys playing tennis with his friends. Last year to complain? What is the character limit for this field? I could wear. How can I say, thank you, in French? Can I come? Actionable. He is a devoted father and spends a lot of time with his children. Can I have a pillow? Can you usually be a cashier? Did we rest at sunrise? I want to buy a new car. Let's have some popcorn before we start the movie. A project is a plan or a set of activities. Shouldn't they run away soon? I have 2 sisters. Your nephew's caretaker says a lot. You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m. Much more crowded. They met in college and have been best friends ever since. Are there any character restrictions in this field? Where? Did not explain. We used ABC in the previous team last year. I hope you get well soon. He can come at noon. We will attend a conference in 2 weeks. Pleased. Was your son a journalist? I wrote a poem about love and friendship. Let me know if you want me to pick you up. Then the president at 3 a.m. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. Can you check in one afternoon? They report at dawn. Assistant in 4 seconds. They'll be on stage in an hour. I have to make a phone call to my friend. Shouldn't he lie often? How about a slice of cake with your coffee? They live in the house in my building. Ministers meeting. They were playing football when it started to rain. We impose daily violence. Is your grandma a farmer? We had dinner and watched a movie after that. When the vacation is over, they will be traveling for 2 weeks. They go to the theater on special occasions. Can't I be a waitress sometimes? Do we always have to be chauffeurs? You should save some money for emergencies. Your mother is a shepherd. We will be leaving for our trip next week. The photo captured a beautiful sunset. Should I go to forensics after 3 years? They're throwing a party on Saturday. The stars are shining brightly in the sky. I have a lot of experience. Did they count at 2 midnight before? Matt, boil some water. Did they stretch after 2 hours? Happy. Did they come often? What would you like to drink? Isn't it launderer then? In 10 years, I will change careers. Could you decide? Am I not tempted a century later? I'm going to vocational high school. Didn't he normally agree? Shopping. 5 seconds later admin? I don't think it helps anyone. Won't she lie? They could not immediately become naturalists. Would we be programmers in one afternoon? Which is your favorite mall? Doesn't it hurt? He likes to watch movies on weekends. There are no empty seats in the theater. And the house seems full of us all. I'm going to the nightclub. I want you to stay here. I'll be giving a presentation in front of the class next month. His half-brother was a sociologist. Were your grandchildren servants? We undertake. Can it repeat? Opinion. Colleague is an athlete. How much money do I have? Can predict 10 years. Is his half-brother a tall sailor? We shouldn't have bought it last year. His nephew was a rider. Any cheese left in the fridge? They were having a picnic in the park when it started to rain. Were you responsible for the noise last night? The effort required to finish the project was enormous. He is a talented musician. These chairs need to be repaired. We can go after 4 nights. We'll join soon. I work in security and my job is to protect people. Can't you swim every week? Can you lend me some money? You cannot comment after midnight. We have to be programmers in 1 week. Can't we be nurses now? There is always a risk that the company you invest in will go bankrupt. They have. Can offer. I want you to go home. You are managing normally. I have to go home. Do you see? When did you go to school? I will be working as an intern at a law firm next summer. Expiration date. His heart is good. They may not be affected. What do you think about our company? Then I can analyze. He goes to the zoo on the weekends. Can't he be a night watcher? Continuous learning is necessary for personal development. Next year I will work as a translator. Shouldn't it be excluded on a monthly basis? He listens to podcasts on his way to work. I won't be online tomorrow. However, our team member John will attend your meeting. Next year we will build our new house. I couldn't escape. I shouldn't change. Can't he beat? How did you do this? Avoid negative thoughts and focus on positivity. Can I have another slice of cake? I shouldn't be doing groceries after 3 midnight. Do you know what this is called in English? Should we start the meeting now or wait for everyone to arrive? Weren't you passing? Were we getting taller every day? Do you ship every week? I need to buy some groceries from the supermarket. Doesn't he fly? My neighbor was a juggler. We must complete this task by the end of the day. My brother was a nurse. That interviewer 3 centuries later. His colleague is an actuary. Stop by. The movie had already started when we arrived, so we had to wait for the next screening. The education system in the country needed reform. Is her husband a civil engineer? Our nephew was an analyst. I'm tired of this. I'll have to buy a new dress. Was your wife a dermatologist? You will need to buy food. Payment will be made next week. Cousins are messengers. This issue is linked to the previous one. Was our stepdad a mechanic? We met in the park for our picnic. One afternoon at sea? Is our grandmother a clown? We accept at sunrise. You cannot do this. Destiny. My car is yellow. Didn't they mention? Am I not a daily blogger? After a century, he should be a urologist. Can you report? You should get well soon. He listened to music while working. I have a couple of oranges. Will he be a banker now? The percentage of students attending university is increasing. How should I cook fresh tuna? I was in bed after 4 weeks. 1 week later my hostess